Hey, soul survivors. I have a response to a viewer's comment. So it says, can't help but wonder if this is just another self-centered, narcissistic Western woman who calls everyone a narcissist if they don't agree with her. So it is interesting that, yes, I am a Western woman, and I'm assuming since you called me that you're not from the West. So there are differences in cultures. We do need to take that into account when we are talking about people. And as far as, am I a narcissist? Once you get to know me, you can see patterns of things that I have said. So I have often said, that it has to be a pattern of abuse, that people make mistakes. Is the person taking accountability? Are they willing to change things? Because no human is perfect. We all have narcissistic traits. And, when we really get to know the person, we can see the patterns. We can start to see the red flags. A lot of times we overlook them. We forget to put up our boundaries. So I welcome any comment, but I have done a lot of thinking on how today's society is kind of overcompensating to where I see destruction from a lot of the advice of, one and done, you're out, that you did something wrong, that we do have to have some grace for people. We do have to understand that sometimes there's miscommunications, misinterpretations, but narcissistic abuse does have a pattern to it. It is pretty extreme. It is self-centered to the narcissist. So I see your comment. Feel free to let me know why you feel I'm self-centered or narcissistic. I believe in marriage. I feel that people should try to work things out, but narcissistic abuse will cause brain damage. It gets your amygdala swelled up, and it causes a destruction in your life, your circumstances, social relations, and it's like this cycle that just snowballs out of control. Causes a lot of depression, anxiety. So if things don't get better, it has profound effects on an individual. And if you have children with this person, it's going to have effects on the child. So thank you for your comment. I do not believe one and done. You made a mistake. You're out the door. I think we have to understand people. We also have to understand people's quirks. If you know me, you know I'm a teacher. I have this one student who gives me such a run for my money. He has narcissistic traits, but I don't believe he's a narcissist. He isn't out to hurt me. He doesn't get pleasure in hurting me. He just doesn't understand social relations. So he was giving me a really hard time. Has to try to show me up. And he talks out of turn, constantly talking, and he feels very attacked. He feels nobody likes him, but he's not realizing what he is doing. You can see the whole class getting frustrated with him, and he's causing his own circumstance by disrupting the entire class. So I had told him I was extremely correct on what I was saying, but he wouldn't comprehend it. He wanted to defend it, which was an incorrect statement. I tried to tell him how it's incorrect, constantly going back and forth. And I said, look, you can either learn from me or you can argue with me. And he's like, well, I like to argue. So he even acknowledges he likes to argue. That's how he communicates, he says. And I said, well, be careful, because it's a life lesson you need to learn that arguing is not going to lead to a better life. I said, if you run into a cop and you're arguing with him, you're at a higher incidence of either getting a ticket or getting in trouble. And he's like, well, I don't care. We'll see what happens. So he's not taking lessons that should be learned. So there are frustrations from people that aren't narcissistic, necessarily a narcissist, NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, where you have the 5 out of 9 traits. But there are other kinds of mental illnesses, mental delays that will cause somebody to seem more narcissistic. So he is all about himself. but he's not like evil intent. So there's a pattern with him. He's going to keep interrupting. He's going to keep arguing. You have to learn how to deal with certain people. You have to learn, it's frustrating, but it's a situation which is not like a love relationship where you're building your life with this person, that they're going to either discard you, take you for all your money, use you sexually, cheat on you, all these kind of things that you have to evaluate the type of friendship. You have to evaluate how it's affecting you. You have to evaluate the safety of the situation, give compensations when people, aren't trying to harm you. They're just not understanding. But as far as me being narcissistic, I offer free videos for you guys. I do have paid one-on-ones, but, I say, let me know what it is that you need for me to help you. I am offering free services. Granted, you get a minute, extremely minute amount from YouTube. There are people that donate, which is appreciated, but this is not set up to exploit anybody. It's to help people, to bring awareness because of how devastating it can be, how blindsided people can be. So you are welcome to your opinion. I am a Western woman, but I am still more traditional than a good majority of women. But as far as being narcissistic, tell me what you see. You should, what's the pattern? Have I said as far as accountability, when we are going into reactive abuse, some people want revenge. I've told people not to seek revenge, that it only goes against your own personality, reputation, that people are going to perceive you worse. And you're probably going to feel worse about yourself. Or even if you get a little kick out of getting revenge, what does that say about you? To stay true to yourself, to be a good person, to be the bigger person, to walk away instead of seeking revenge. So I've said, try. If they're not willing to try, what can you do? It's going to start causing brain damage. And it's that narcissistic cycle of abuse. It's crazy how across channels you will see people commenting the same scenario. The breakups, it's usually 7 breakups before the final discard. The new supplies, the love bombing, like the cycles are there. The patterns are there. So I'm just bringing my knowledge to this platform. Comment below on what you feel. It was based on a short. I didn't really, it's 7 to 17 seconds long, and you're judging me. So feel free to watch a few more videos. I don't mind your comments, but make sure there's a pattern.